some study habits and techniques that make Arabic stick as much as possible. And finally, we'll look at some ways in which stewards can support your child to prepare for GCSE Arabic and beyond. Okay, so first steps. I mean, it goes without saying, really. Learning a new language is a transformative experience, particularly for secondary school students. It opens doors to new cultures, perspectives, and opportunities, and all of these things can shape their personal and academic growth. Now, the path to mastering Arabic is not without its challenges, of course, but and this goes especially for students whose first language is vastly different from Arabic, and we can say that that's the case, especially for students whose native language is English. Now, research in second language acquisition, meaning that learning a second language, shows that the role of parents and guardians is crucial to a child's success in learning a new language. Many studies, in fact, highlight the importance of a supportive home environment where the language is, as much as possible at least, integrated into daily life, and where learners and children in general feel encouraged to take risks, make mistakes, in fact, and learn from that whole process. Now, these kinds of environment not only boost confidence, but also accelerate the language development by making the learning process more natural and less stressful. Now, as a parent or guardian, your support can take many forms, whether it's helping with homework, encouraging regular practice, or simply, and this is, I say simply, but it's really important, just showing interest in what your child is learning. Furthermore, a parent's attitude towards the language can significantly impact how the child perceives their own language journey. So, in other words, if you approach the journey with enthusiasm and curiosity, they're more likely to adopt, that very same mindset. Now, let's move on now to how to incorporate the native language as a bridge. And I mentioned that here. I'm starting with the native language as a bridge here because there seems to be at least a lot of emphasis on the medium of instruction, or the language of instruction, being the target language. In other words, basically, if someone is going to learn Arabic, that they should learn Arabic exclusively through Arabic itself. And there are merits to that, but the research, the latest research in language acquisition, seems to, especially at the early stage, indicate the opposite. Although that kind of immersive approach, where instruction is conducted entirely in the target language, is often preferred, especially by parents. Recent research at least, suggests that for students learning a language as distinct from their own as Arabic, leveraging their native language can be an invaluable tool. Now, this approach, sometimes referred to as the bilingual method, can ease the cognitive load, meaning that it's not so stressful mentally on students, and therefore kind of makes the learning process more manageable and less intimidating. Now, why does the native language matter? Why the native language matters? Well, for students just beginning their Arabic language journey, the gap between what they know, in other words, their native language, and what they are trying to learn, in other words, Arabic, can seem vast. Arabic, with its different script, grammar structure, and sounds, different morphology, different syntax, can be particularly challenging for speakers of languages that do not share these features. That being said, for that reason, the cognitive demands of understanding new grammatical rules, vocabulary, and pronunciation, all while trying to make sense of instructions in a foreign language, can overwhelm even the brightest students, really. Using the native language as a bridge allows students to grasp those complex concepts by relating them back to something familiar in their own language. So when teachers explain Arabic grammar rules using comparisons to the student's native language, students can more easily understand the logic behind these rules. Now, and in addition to this, translating new vocabulary into the student's native language offers kind of immediate comprehension, which is crucial in the early stages of language acquisition. The bilingual approach, or this dual language approach, not only aids in memorization, but also provides students with a stronger foundation for understanding more abstract concept later on. And the idea is that basically students will access the language at an early stage through their own language, and then gradually build up that competence and proficiency, so that naturally after a while they'll shed off the native language and start using the target language exclusively. Now, for some kind of practical applications at home, it's important as a parent or guardian to encourage your child to translate new Arabic words or phrases into their native language. This type of exercise not only kind of reinforces the new vocabulary, but also helps them see how these words function in both languages. In addition to this, discussing the similarities and differences between Arabic and your child's native language can be, really enlightening experience. For example, if your child is learning about the concept of gendered nouns in Arabic, this potentially could be something, very completely new to the learner or to the child. And the fact that English doesn't have this phenomenon is not because Arabic is strange, but rather that English is the anomaly in this case, because most languages actually have this kind of gendered bifurcation inside them. Another strategy is to use the native language for explaining more challenging Arabic concepts. So, for example, it's easy to kind of use a picture to explain what a lorry is or what a car is in Arabic, but for abstract words like love, it wouldn't be useful. It'd be very difficult to explain kind of through a picture or through a demonstration what love means. You'd have to, just for kind of efficiency and economy, it'd be easier for you to rely in that situation on the native language to explain that specific word. Now, moving on, the native language, or kind of like using the native language as a bridge, also builds confidence through familiarity as well. So one of the key benefits of using the native language as a bridge is that it can significantly boost your child's confidence. And the language learning naturally often comes with a huge fear of making mistakes, especially when the student is expected to perform in an unfamiliar language environment. Now, through the familiarity, by allowing your child to draw on their native language, you reduce that pressure immediately. The pressure, in other words, the pressure to kind of produce perfect Arabic, and instead you focus on gradual, meaningful progress instead. Now, there are also long-term benefits as well. The strategic use of the native language as a bridge leads to more independent and confident use of Arabic over time. As students become more proficient, they will naturally rely less on their native language and more on their growing Arabic skills. As I said before, the initial use of the native language is not a crutch, but rather a scaffold, something that supports learning until the student is ready to advance on their own. And a final point here for this here is that students who learn to compare and contrast languages develop, according to research at least, better problem-solving skills and linguistic creativity, and by extension, a kind of a deeper appreciation for the nuances of both their native language and Arabic. This kind of comparative approach also encourages what they call a meta-linguistic awareness. The ability to think about and analyze language as a system, which is a valuable skill in any language learning endeavor or any kind of learning endeavor that's geared towards kind of learning a system. So even for mathematics or computer science as well. Now, to kind of head towards some more concrete applications of what we can do to kind of acquire Arabic or what we can do as parents. Here, what I want to begin with is what stewards are offering in this regard, and that is one of the most important things is to set clear and achievable goals. Now, of course, the course descriptions that we've written for the Year 7 or Part 1 Arabic and the Year 9 Part 3 Arabic set out on I think it's at least a fortnightly basis exactly what is being studied and what the learning outcomes are for that week. So it's if parents and guardians are aware of the course description and the schedule and the calendar, then they kind of get a better idea of exactly where their child should be at, you know. And this is because, you know, in reality, the reality is that the foundational practice, one of the foundational practices at least for learning Arabic or any language, is setting clear and achievable goals. You know, language learning is a marathon, it's not a sprint, and having well-defined goals helps your child maintain focus and keeps them kind of motivated as well. Breaking down the language learning process into smaller, manageable milestones, like I mentioned just a moment ago, with the, you know, on a fortnightly basis, what your child is scheduled to learn is clearly set out for the whole year, and as kind of like manageable milestones, and this makes the journey less overwhelming overall, and provides a sense of accomplishment at each stage. Now, for parents in particular, I think it's important also to regularly review and adjust these goals, because as your child progresses, they may find like certain areas of the language more challenging, or in fact, they may discover new interests that guide their learning in you know, towards different avenues as well. It's also important to use a variety of learning resources, and there are a plethora of them available online, and they keep on increasing, really. Language learning apps and online platforms, they in general, they offer, you know, valuable interactive lessons that can be specifically tailored to your child's proficiency level. Some of them, and I'll mention them later on as well, like Duolingo, Rosetta Stone, Mondly. They provide kind of like something that I think learners these days, especially young learners, are very highly literate in. At least they kind of desire this kind of gamified learning experience that makes studying Arabic fun and engaging. But these tools, you know, or these apps in general, they often include speaking and listening exercises, which are really important for developing that fluency, especially at later stages. I've got an example here that I can share. I just want to make sure, confirm that you guys can see my screen. I'm going to go towards here. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah, so here I'm on the Quizlet website now. And if we go back as well, I'm showing you an example of a flashcard set for pronouns in Arabic. And we have kind of like two sections here. At the top left, you can see them: in-class review and flashcards here, you can see. So if we want to begin actually revising the items or the vocabulary items that we're learning, we'll click on flashcards and then test ourselves as we go through using these flashcards. So up and down, and then right and left as well, going through them, etc., etc. And then we can also go back to the games and activities, and this is one of the really important parts here. Okay, match. So we can start a game here, and kind of connect them. And we're being timed at the top, you can see there. And in the end, we're actually going to be trying to, each time we do that, we're trying to kind of like beat ourselves at this. And as you can see at the end, we have our time, and then kind of like, congratulations, you're in first place, the only person to do it. But this is, you know, one of the important ways that you kind of leverage technology, that you know, learners can leverage technology there. Hello? Yeah. Another really important aspect is to practice consistently and persistently. In fact, you know, consistency is key in language learning. You know, regular practice, even if it's just for a few minutes a day, can make a major significant difference in your child's progress. You know, you should try to encourage your child to incorporate Arabic into their daily life. Daily practice doesn't have to be, you know, formal. Even, you know, you can encourage your child to integrate Arabic into their hobbies as well. So, for example, if you have a child who's into cooking, then they could follow Arabic channels on YouTube that are, you know, focused on cooking. Or gaming, for example, you could change the game on a game. You could change the language settings to Arabic. Or as if you really want to kind of challenge yourself later on, you could change the language settings on your device, your phone or your iPad, to Arabic, to kind of force yourself to use and navigate the language. Okay. It's also important to understand the cultural context of Arabic, and I think this goes without saying, really. Arabic is not just a language, of course; it's a key to understanding, you know, the diverse cultures of the Arab world, and to fully appreciate and master Arabic. Your child should also learn about the cultural, historical, and social context in which the language is used. I think we've mentioned to stay patient and persistent as well. It's important also to set realistic goals and celebrate progress as well. I mean, these are small things, but they mean a lot to young learners, especially when they're as parents. I'm sure you're all, you know, acutely aware that the children are always, you know, constantly seeking their parents' approval, and the small things make you know, make a big deal to them in a lot of ways. It's important to celebrate those milestones and those achievements. Recognition and positive reinforcement can have significant impact on your child's motivation and self-confidence. When your child reaches a goal, no matter how small, it's important to take the time to acknowledge their hard work and effort. It's also important to reflect on progress and adjust goals as needed. You know, it's not like I mentioned earlier. It's not a marathon. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Regularly reflecting on your child's progress is essential for maintaining a sense of a direction and purpose in their language learning journey. And in addition to this, it's also important to emphasize the value of long-term goals as well. You know, this thing maintains momentum. You know, there are going to be periods of plateau where you know, the learner doesn't feel like there's any incline anymore. They're not kind of progressing, but that's a kind of a common situation with learning any language, really, and for that reason the long-term goals are really crucial in reminding the learner of the bigger picture. What I like to do as well, even with the students as a kind of like introduction to my classes, is that I really want to put some emphasis on fostering a positive attitude towards mistakes. You know, we should really look towards normalizing mistakes as part of the learning process. In fact, we can consider the classroom environment as a kind of a safe space, for want of a better word, in which students can make those mistakes, so that they don't make those errors later on, because mistakes are an inevitable part of the process. You know, we should also encourage risk taking and experimentation. Really, language learning often require stepping out of one's comfort zone and trying new things, whether it's speaking in front of others or attempting to write an essay or using new vocabulary in conversation. Now, for this reason, encouraging your child to take risks and experiment with the language, even if it leads to mistakes, is essential for growth and progress. And finally, I want to move on to leveraging technology for learning. Now, in today's kind of digital age, technology offers a wealth of resources and tools that can significantly enhance your child's Arabic learning journey. Here, and for that reason, it's important to explore a variety of language learning apps. Um, Apps like Duolingo, Memrise, Rosetta Stone, Anki, and Anki and Quizlet later on, I should say. Duolingo, I've used it personally to learn Dutch, and because I didn't have the time to dedicate to Dutch in a kind of like in a more formal setting, but I did have, you know, as everybody does, some kind of like free time here and there, and I wanted to kind of like acquire it or kind of learn it in a kind of passive way. Duolingo is a really good way of doing that. And additionally, many language learning apps offer kind of these features that allow learners to track their progress over time, and it can be really motivating, particularly for young learners, as they can visually see their improvement and set new goals based on their achievement. Now, of course, with YouTube, we also have a great wealth of Arabic content, you know, real Arabic content online. In my classes, I like to introduce students to YouTube channels that are, for example, like there's one called Thamania, which uses kind of like a standard Arabic, which is also dubbed a lot of the time into English, and it can be really, really useful for students to gain a kind of knowledge of how Arabic is used, because of course there is a little bit of a difference between modern standard Arabic and kind of formal, all of the formal regional forms of Arabic as well, you know. So by incorporating Arabic language media, such as, you know, as I've said, you know, these YouTube channels, podcasts, etc., articles, you can help them, your child to develop listening and reading skills and expand their vocabulary, and at the same time gain, you know, cultural insights as well. Okay, I'd like to move on now before I kind of show the next page. I'd like to move on now to the Stewart's page for the Year 7 Arabic Level 1 and kind of just run through that as quick as possible, really, just to give you a sense of what's on offer here. So this is the Key Stage 3 Arabic Part 1, which is you know, a 1-year comprehensive course designed for students, and it's specifically designed for beginner students here. The key objectives we can see here as well involve things like communicating effectively in basic Arabic conversations. We want to see students have the ability to read and comprehend a variety of simple Arabic texts, demonstrate understanding of fundamental Arabic grammar and sentence structures, and so on and so forth. The key objectives are all listed here as well. The course includes 3 1-hour sessions per week, and the course schedule is here as well. So on Monday, we're meeting for 1 hour, and then Wednesday, we're meeting for 2 hours with a 15-minute break there in the middle. We also have a description here, but rather than, well, I'll read out just the first part. Key Stage 3 Arabic Part 1 is a comprehensive 1-year course designed for students who are just about to begin their Arabic language journey. And the course, as I mentioned earlier, aims to develop the listening, speaking, reading, writing skills through the communicative approach, emphasizing real-life situations and practical applications. Now, the book that we'll be working from is called Al-Arabiya Bayna Yadayk, and we'll try to finish student book 1, parts 1 and 2, over the 1-year period. Now, this book is entirely in the target language. In other words, it presents all of the learning material in Arabic. It's an exclusively Arabic book. So it can be overwhelming for some students, but with the classroom environment, what you get is that kind of a scaffolding for the whole the learning experience, as I mentioned earlier, with the reliance on the native language to explain some of the concepts in the early stage. It shouldn't be so overwhelming at the beginning, but it's important, I believe, to offer at least some kind of immersion, and that's going to be offered through the linguistic immersion, that is, through the book here, which is exclusively in Arabic, Al-Arabiya Bayna Yadayk. So that's the Year 7 Arabic Level 1. We also have the GCSE Bridge here, Arabic Level 2, which is offered for Year 9 at the moment. So basically, this is a kind of like the part 2 of the Al-Arabiya Bayna Yadik, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Well, it should be student book 2 here. Yeah, student book 2. We'll correct that later on. Anyway, here, this is basically the course that will prepare, or is intended to prepare students for the GCSE. Now, to get a better idea of what I mean by that, 2 seconds. Okay, I've prepared this kind of like table that shows you exactly what the courses that stewards are offering and where they're heading towards in terms of the GCSE. So as you can see on the left, we have the steward stages from part 1 to part 7, and then the equivalent secondary school year that we aim to offer those courses in. So there's Year 7 to sixth form, second year of sixth form. And then the 2 middle columns, we have children and young learners and adults. The only difference is that with the adults, we're going to be offering some more kind of a more classical syllabus. And with the children and young learners, the intention is to incorporate native Arabic syllabuses like the Saudi syllabus, the Bahraini syllabus, the Omani syllabus, and I'll be drawing on all of those in order to give the students a sense of what it's like for Arabs themselves when they are studying their language. Now, as you can see, Arabic part, so Bayna Yadayk, the second book, is largely equivalent to the first year of GCSE, and then Bayna Yadayk 3, the third book, is equivalent to the second year of GCSE. And I mean, we're speaking roughly here. It's not exact. It's not entirely exact. The reason being is because the course descriptions for GCSE and A-level Arabic require some additional reading as well. But that's kind of like a logistical thing. And as you can see, Bayna Yadayk 4, the fourth book, puts you approximately at AS level, and A-level Arabic would put you approximately at the 10th grade, or year 9 or year 10 in a native Arabic school. I hope that's I hope I've made the material and the kind of steward's course description as clear as possible. What I'd like to do now is potentially take questions for those who have any questions at the moment. But thank you for listening. Hello.
Assalamualaikum, I'm here. So if anyone has any questions, Khalid, Brother Khalid will be the Arabic teacher at Stewards. So you can ask questions about any of the Stewards program, but you can also ask any questions regarding his presentation about children studying Arabic, or if you have any questions about your own children and their path to Arabic, now would be the time. So you can either open your mic or you can write in the chat. And then also let us know if you don't have questions, so then we can wrap up the presentation, inshallah.
Oh, I see something in the chat. Oh, my apologies. I didn't notice. I think I had my video off for the presentation. My apologies for that. Yes, of course, Halima, you can. No worries. Go ahead. If you can't unmute, then
Oh, sorry, I was using my headphones and I was trying to disconnect. Assalamu
no
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I just wanted to ask, my daughter has been studying Arabic for a while, but it's just not sticking. And I'm just wondering, I've listened to all your points. Is it because it's not systematic, or what have been the issues that, affects people generally in studying?
It's a complex question. I'm sure there are a lot of variables as to why. Well, there's an explanation as to why is it your daughter that you mentioned
Yes,
is not
Layla,
kind of
she was with you
acquiring the
at
language?
Stewart's.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it does need a lot of patience, to be honest. I mean, I've mentioned this previously to people. Arabic or language acquisition in general is like can be compared to a musical instrument. Now, a musical instrument, roughly, they say, I mean, it's a kind of cliche. They say it takes about 10,000 hours to gain the proficiency on a musical instrument, and it's roughly the same for a language as well. There are other variables like how old your daughter is and so on and so forth, but in my opinion, I think you kind of insinuated that perhaps there's a kind of a lack of systematic approach to studying Arabic. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it really helps to go through a kind of a set text and a set series of textbooks. And this is the good thing about the Al-Arabiya Bayna Yadayk series. That series is exclusively in Arabic. And one of the important things about that series is that it was actually put together by a team of Saudi academics who are specialists in pedagogy and language acquisition in general and applied linguistics. They weren't just trying to kind of teach Arabic in a really cold and boring way. They actually came from a research-based perspective when they put those books together. So I think the crucial thing is to have achievable goals, a systematic approach to studying Arabic, and I think with the Steward system, with the course descriptions or the courses that we've set up, proficiency. I think if we can, I don't want to use kind of like technical terms, but I guess fluency can be achieved from 3 to 4 years at a rate of 3 to 4 sessions per week, 3 sessions per week, let's say. But but I don't want to kind of discourage you at all. I think it's actually a really difficult thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do at all, and in many instances, it just requires a little bit more perseverance.
Okay, Jazakallah khairan. And for the textbook you're using, does it cover grammar or what does it Is it
Yeah, it
more for
covers everything. It
conversation?
covers it covers listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and it covers it in a way. I've noticed, at least, if I compare it to other books, it covers it in a way that's not kind of sterile. It does cover all of the really important classical grammatical Arabic grammatical points, but those classical grammatical Arabic points are presented in a way that's not kind of boring. So, for example, each chapter in Al-Arabiya Bayna Yadayk is scaffolded by an article or a topic, and through that, the other grammatical points are introduced. Now, that doesn't mean that students can escape from memorizing verb conjugations, etc. I think it applies to mathematics as well. I mean, at the beginning of any kind of a lot of mathematics textbooks, you have a kind of like on the inside cover, you have the list of formula, right? Now, you don't have to memorize the formula, but it does really help, especially at the beginning. You don't even have to understand the formula. And it's the same thing for Arabic. With Arabic, if you if you memorize those verb conjugation tables and you memorize a lot of the morphology, then and even if at the early stage when you don't necessarily understand what's going on, it helps you later on, and to the point where it becomes second nature. So there is no real escape from the boring side of memorization. Although, as I showed with Quizlet, that app online, there is a kind of fun way of using the online flashcards and the matching exercises, etc., to make that less tedious. But yeah, it is a hard and long journey, and I wish your daughter all the best.
I have a question.
You're welcome.
If I can ask, I wanted to know how, if it's, especially when trying to prepare for GCSE. So if there's someone in the bridge program in year 9, about how many supplementary hours of Arabic would be needed, not just to learn the GCSE curriculum, but also to help them really build the fluency and Arabic skills to kind of cross into that advanced level at that age.
I think GCSE Arabic well, this is the thing. GCSE Arabic is not that advanced. Both the Pearson and the GCSE Arabic syllabus is relatively simple, and for that reason, for kind of all intents and purposes, you can say that Al-Arabiya Bayna Yadayk, the second book, is equivalent to the first year of GCSE Arabic, and Al-Arabiya Bayna Yadayk 3, the third book, is equivalent to the second year of GCSE Arabic, either Pearson or Cambridge. So it's difficult to say exactly how many supplemental hours are required. What I'm interested in is the proficiency of the student. If a student has gone through the Bayna Yadayk second book and been not necessarily been a model student, but has been a diligent student, they should be able to navigate, because there's a lot of overlap between the syllabus and the content. They should be able to navigate the GCSE Arabic very easily. In fact, when it comes to A-level Arabic, it becomes a little bit different. The grammar points in A-level Arabic are complex. They're all covered in Bayna Yadayk 3 and 4. But the thing about the Pearson and the Cambridge GCSE Arabic is that they also have required reading or set text. So in addition to the grammar points, students have to become familiar with what I consider quite advanced text, actually. If I can share my screen now, I think I still have an example of what I mean here. Yeah, so these are the set text. Can you see that, guys? This is the set text. These are the set texts for Cambridge A level. First one is Tarikh al-Adab al-Arabi. Al-Asr al-Jahili. It's a book I've read, and it's not actually that easy a book to digest, to be honest. And also the fourth volume, Al-Asr al-Abbasi al-Thani, and the third book there, Min al-Adab al-Nisa'i al-Mu'asir. These books, I mean, one of them is, they're all contemporary, but the first two are studies on classical Arabic literature, and the third one is a study on kind of women's literature or contemporary women's literature. So navigating those books is difficult, I think, and that would be the difference for someone who's studied Bayna Yadayk or any type of Arabic advanced textbook. They would then have to negotiate this these set texts. You also have Sulaiman al-Hakim, Al-Fajr al-Kadhib by Najib Mahfouz. So you have some kind of contemporary literature there as well. I hope I've answered your question, Sister Hind, or at least tried to. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Jazakallah khair. And I just had one more briefly. So then given that there's a really big gap between GCSE and A levels, what can be done to kind of prepare? Is there anything you can do to prepare at the GCSE level to make A levels a bit easier because of that wide?
Yeah, the A level course is a 2-year course, so there's a long time to kind of progress through the material in the Pearson or Cambridge course description. That being said, I think a steady introduction of classical Arabic literature to students, maybe from the third book onwards, the third book onwards, even though there is a good amount of literature in those books, I think exposure to books like Kalila wa Dimna or Hayban Yaqdan, or some kind of books that are classical, certainly considered classical Arabic literature, but at the same time a lot more accessible than the others. I think that's a kind of way to one way to kind of introduce that. So we'd introduce that on a normal course, on a normal steward's year in year 9. I think it would be safe to kind of introduce classical Arabic literature to students who have studied at least the first 2 books. Otherwise, it can become a little bit overwhelming. That doesn't mean to say that we don't introduce other forms of modern standard Arabic literature to students at earlier stages, particularly in the second year, for example. That's possible as well. But it's all about, what I'm trying to get at here is that it's all about introducing students to material at a gradual and pace, and as early as possible as well.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. I think what I've taken away actually from both your answers is that I think going back to kind of maybe the discussion with Halima, that there needs to be clear goals set,
Yeah.
short-term and long-term, and then a structure and a system that we're taking students through step by step, and a process, so that we're making sure that we're building skills and the students have foundation then to continue to the next level. So as long as that's happening, that is the preparation.
Yeah, certainly, and you can see that in the course descriptions at Stewards. They're very much target focused, or the ones that I try to draw up are definitely, like I mentioned previously, on a fortnightly basis. There are kind of like milestones for that, rather than a kind of meandering journey through Arabic.
Okay, sure. So I think that's all of the questions. I just wanted to take the time to thank you, Jazakallah khair, for coming today and
No, you're
speaking.
welcome.
And
Barakallah
for
feekum.
everyone who came today, and also for those of you who will be listening to the recording, Jazakallah khair for listening. And that's the end of the call. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.